What's going on, all man? Thanks for tuning in once again. Once again, man. So Wilder, Fury talk. My thoughts, my opinion, man. Please stick to your own. So I'm just going to talk about the training that I've seen, man. I'm going to talk about a few interviews that I've seen. Um, just my thoughts. So firstly, I want to address the fight, the third fight, the big delay, man. So it appears that Fury's come clean, man, and he's told everyone that the reason why the fight didn't happen was because of COVID. So that second setting the record straight there, man. I know that a lot of people thought it was because Wilder didn't want to fight. Don't get me wrong here. I'm a Fury and a Wilder fan, man. I'm not choosing sides here. I'm just telling you the truth, man. That's what I do on this channel. I speak my mind. And I'm open for any comments. Anyone that has to say otherwise, man. Like I say, it's my opinion. Everyone's got their own. So he says, Wilder didn't I'd say duck. He didn't duck him, okay? He didn't postpone the fight. The fight didn't happen because of COVID. That's why it didn't happen. That's the first thing. Second thing, he said the undisputed fight wasn't going to happen. He said, how could these guys not know that Wilder had a contracted agreement to fight me? How could they not know? So, I mean, when he's saying how could they not know, man, he's talking about obviously Eddie Hearn and Joshua. He's talking about them. He's not talking about the people. We don't really know much about what's happening. In fact, most people don't really know what's happening in the court. Because Wilder obviously took him to court. He said that he took him to court because he wanted him to fight him. There was no bouts involved. It wasn't I want another title shot. It wasn't I want to get my belt back. It was I want you to fight me. So he contracted him to fight him. So there was no way around it. He didn't put in the contract, I want another title shot. He put in the contract, I want another fight with Fury. And that's what it was about. That's why there was no way out of it. Fury says there was an $80 million agreement, man. If he had said, nah, man, I ain't going to fight you, then he would have had to owe Wilder $80 million. That's what Fury had said. So there's no way out of the trilogy. And that's why the undisputed never happened. But me personally, man, I think that Fury was hoping that he would win that case. Like the arbitration, they say in the 11th hour, the judge ruled it in Wilder's favour. So, I mean, if Fury had won the case, man, I reckon the undisputed fight would have happened. That's me personally. But Fury's just stated they know that it wasn't going to happen, which is not good. I mean, he should just be open and honest about it from the start, man. I mean, he told everyone the fight's on, man. It ain't good at all. When you know that could be the repercussions. You should have just told them, or told the people, firsthand, man, if I don't win this case, the fight ain't happening. You know what I mean? But that's just that, man. I'm glad that at least Fury's straightened that up, man. He's owned up. He said, man, this is what happened, and I'm still upset he hasn't apologized. But hey, it is what it is, man. He's just focused on fighting, I guess. So that's that, man. I wanted to say that's out of the way. So Wilder always wanted to fight him, man. After the fight, Wilder called up Malik Scott the night of the fight, and said, listen, man, this is what we're going to do. He built a whole facility at home, man, to get revenge on Fury. So he's been really serious about it. He's been really serious about getting revenge. About, I mean, obviously he wants the title back, man, but I think that he was more serious about fighting Fury again, getting revenge. I mean, that second fight was terrible for him. I don't think that any boxer could either you're going to retire, you're going to have a rematch. I don't think that any boxer would fight someone else. With because people will always be coming back and saying, "Hey, man, look what happened to you when you fought Fury." It was a battering. It wasn't just a one hit, one hit to the temple, man, and something happened. It was round after round after round of dominating. It was a battering, okay, and that's that. Of course, Wilder said all the allegations, man, but no one's really talking about that now. At the end of the day, Fury's got to fight him. At the end of the day, Wilder won the case. So the trilogy is going to go ahead. Now, let's talk about the training. So, with Tyson Fury, man, I haven't really seen much. Obviously he says that I'm training every day, and, he's been saying that throughout the whole lockdown. If I don't train one day, then I get to go in depression. Which I believe is what he's doing now, man. He's training. He's serious about the fight. Obviously, the fight got postponed because of whatever reasons it was, man. Me personally, I think it's because he might have got hurt in camp, and he had a chance to postpone it, and he done that. It's a big fight. It's a huge fight. It's sort of one of those fights where whoever wins was telling the truth. Everyone's gonna believe what they want to believe. But once the guy wins, man, he's gonna say, "I told you I was telling the truth." You know what I mean? Me personally, I don't think that Fury cheated at all. And, you can't really say someone cheated without getting justice, Without getting justice. People can say, well, justice, man, that's why the third fight's happening. Nah, I'm talking about, legal justice. I'm talking about not getting another win on the record. I'm talking about giving the belts up. That's the sort of justice that I'm talking about, man. But there's been no justice, man, so there's no reason for people to accuse him of cheating. The third fight's going to happen. This is the decider, man. Winner takes all. No rematch clauses, which I'm happy about, man. I've had enough of these Wilder Fury back and forth, postponing the fight, man. Allegations and all that, man. It's just been a long drag out, man. Holding up the division for 2 years, trying to make other fights, man, when you're contracted to one fight, holding up the division. I'm over all that, man. I just want to see the best fight the best, man. And I'm glad that this is the final chapter for Wilder and Fury, man. Whoever wins, winner takes all. Winner fights whoever's next in line, That's it. So the training. So like I said, Fury I haven't really seen him train. I know he's definitely been training, When he's got that family of fighters in his corner, man, He's got his dad that's in his ear all the time, man, John Fury. Telling them, you need to do this and do that, man. He's got, Sugar Hill in his corner. I believe he's still in his corner, man. I haven't really seen, judging off the press conference, man, he's still in the corner, obviously. So, he's got some good guys around him. He's got some great talents around him to motivate him, to push him through, to train hard. Just like the first fight, Similar to the first fight, he didn't record any training. Or there wasn't much training that he posted up, But that's where it changes with Wilder, Yes, he recorded a lot of training and all that, but it seems to me, man, that he's really eager to show everybody what he's done, what he's doing. And I think that's where he's making a mistake, man. You don't want to show a guy too much. Especially a guy like Fury with guys in his corner like that, You don't want to show a guy too much. Okay, you could say, well, he hasn't been showing his sparring partners, which is good. He hasn't been showing who his sparring partners is. I'm talking about Wilder. So that's a good thing, but then again, man, Fury hasn't shown Wilder anything, For all we know, man, Fury could be going back to old tactics. Who knows? Who knows? He might just stick and move for the whole fight. I don't think that he will, but that's what's going to be challenging for Wilder. He doesn't really know what he's doing, where Fury has an idea of what Wilder wants to do. He has an idea that Wilder's, what he's training, how he's training, what he's doing. He's showing all of his training videos, man, And I think that's where he was going wrong. I mean, surely, I think it's because he wants to show the people that he has all the tools. He wants to show the people that, hey, man, I already had skills. This is what I'm just polishing up my skills. Check this out, But then you also see him doing like weightlifting, saying, trying to challenge the people, pushing up the weight, which is all good, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, But when you look at weight training and you look at trying to impress the people and you look at, man, he's not, I wouldn't say impressed, but I'd say he's trying to shut up all the haters, He's trying to prove the people wrong. That's what he's doing. There's people are making fun of him, saying, man, that jacket's too heavy, or, things like that, just silly things, and Wilder's trying to prove them wrong. But it just makes me think, if Wilder's really trying to prove people wrong, and this is no hate to Wilder, man, or Fury, like I said, I'm both of their fans. But the one thing that Wilder hasn't really shown is him working on his legs, And this is not me getting smart or anything, man, or cheeky. I'd say cheeky. If you're not from New Zealand, people wouldn't know what getting smart means. Getting smart is like getting cheeky, But this is not me getting cheeky, I'd say, just in layman terms. This is not me getting cheeky, man. I'm just saying, Wilder really hasn't shown any leg workouts where that's going to be the most effective in this fight, He's always going to have the power. He's always going to have the upper body, There's nothing wrong with the upper body. That's what I'm trying to say, But the legs, you haven't seen him do leg weights. You haven't seen him do road work. You've seen him do skipping, okay? That's something that he's shown that he does. But, if he's going to show people what he's doing, I certainly hope that he's doing leg work behind the scenes, man. And not, I hope that he is, because that's what he needs in this fight. That's the main reason why he lost the fight. Is he said it, man. The first thing I couldn't feel my legs. My legs wasn't the same. You know what I mean? Something that shouldn't bother you in the first couple of rounds. You could see in round 3 where his legs, he put on the weights, but the weight was all in the upper body. You know what I mean? So I believe it was more of a balance thing why he lost his legs. Yes, I mean taking punches and all that, but I think because his upper bodies was so big, being at 230, his legs couldn't handle the weights that was getting pressed down with the bigger muscles or whatever, bigger physique upstairs, as well as the weight, man, is going to take a serious toll on your legs. That's the heaviest Wilder's been, is 230, in the 230s, so I think it's more of a balance thing for him. Like I said, you don't really see him doing running or stuff like that, man, leg workouts. I haven't seen anyway. Like, he's been showing most of his training, and that's where his problem is, in the legs. So that's Wilder, man. That's where I think that he needs to improve, is on his legs. And I hope that he's training on the legs, man, doing deadlifts and all that, strengthening up the legs. You look at a guy like Pacquiao, man, he always had a solid base. He was a guy that could just come at you, throw punches, man, and he would take big hits because he always had a solid base to keep him balanced, Wilder's a guy that always used to be awkward and stand back, use his reach, man, and try to land at the end of his punches. He's never been a guy that just works on the inside of you, window shopper, areola style, man, blow for blow. He hasn't been that sort of dude. He's always been the guy that uses a jab, knocks you out with the 1-2. So, I mean, if he's changing his style, man, and coming forward with body hooks, he says, I'm going to snatch his body, I'm going to just target the body. If he's doing that, and he's on the inside of Fury, that's going to invite Fury to lean his weight on him, and that's where the legs are going to come into play, you know. So he needs to train on the legs, if anything, you know. If anything, train on the legs. He's always going to have the power. But that's just my opinion, man. Who knows? He may be training on the legs. You know, who knows, man? Some dudes, like I say, you know, they don't show everything. With Fury, his training, man, like I said, I haven't really seen much of him training. I've just seen him hitting the bag and things like that, you know. But he doesn't really hide much. He doesn't really show much, training towards the fight, you know. He likes to keep it as a secret. Where it's really strange where he says we really gave away his game plan, but he's not showing how he's training, you know. Obviously, man, it's just he doesn't want the other guy to get some sort of idea of what he's going to do. But that's my take, man, of the whole training thing. I think Fury got hurt in the sparring, man, and that's why he postponed the fight. And I think that now it's going to be an even fight, you know. Pending the fighter's been training on the legs, I hope that he has, you know, because I can see Fury using that weight again. You know, another thing that I noticed, man, is people saying that Wilder's going up to 240 again. You know, I hope this is more of the bottom half of his body that he's putting on the weight, because, you know, he's got to be able to hold that up, man. And you've also seen him on the weight lift. You know, he lifts his whole body up when he's pushing the weights because he doesn't have that solid base at the bottom. You know, I mean, I understand that he's athletic, man. That might just be the way that he does it. And no hate towards him, you know. If he's athletic and that's how he does it, man, you know, that's fair play to him. But I'm just saying, man, I hope he's been training on the legs. And let's see what happens in this trilogy, man. Let's see what happens. Thanks for tuning in again, man. I'm picking it to be a 50-50 fight. Wilder needs to train on the legs, man. Fury needs to work on fighting on the outside again, like he did in the first fight, because Wilder knows what he's doing now, and he needs to be careful, man. This is a different Wilder, you know. This is a different fight altogether. Look back on that second fight, you know. You can see Fury is intimidated from Wilder's power, you know. I know people, it's hard to believe, man, you know, but when you see Wilder fainting, just watch it back, you know. It's hard to explain. You see him fainting and Fury's taking 2-3 steps back, you know. He already knows that the right hand gives that much power, you know. He knows that the right hand can hurt him. So he needs to be careful of that, man. Give Wilder too much distance, that's it. But at the same time, man, he also needs to box on the outside in this trilogy, I believe. I don't think the same game plan will work, but we'll see what happens, man. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your time. Leave a comment, man. Let me know your take. Peace. God bless.